bit more, charge yourself up. Don't drain yourself out completely and then try to charge yourself up. And then you're gonna feel weak because you were drained. I be trying to
Yes.
tell people that, but they don't get it. I'm like, no, pour your cup now. Pour your cup now before it's empty. For
Yeah.
real. Welcome, 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 y'all, back to So You Need to Tell Me. So for this episode, we have a very special guest, my girl Camille. Go ahead and introduce yourself, girl.
Hey y'all. Like she said, my name is Camille. 21, and just a little bit about myself. I'm in the psychology field. I'm currently at RBT, and some stuff I like to do in my free time is listen to music, read, go to church, and that's pretty much it.
Amen. We love that. We love that. So before we even get started, I just want to do a mental health check-in with you. How you feeling today? Are we okay? Where we at mentally?
Mentally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling good, feeling
That's
really
good.
good. Started our day off with going to church, got a good word, and
Hmm.
just chilling for most of the day, getting stuff ready for the new week. So feeling good. How
I
about you?
love that. Also got an off day, so really love that. I actually went outside today. I'm always inside. I had a little brunch outing with a girlfriend, so that was real nice. Got me some food, went outside, had a nice walk. So I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling in a nice, good headspace, getting ready for the week, like you said.
Okay, that sounds nice.
So, girl, in your intro, like you said, you are an RBT, which is a registered behavior technician. So, can you just tell us a little bit more, like what that is and what do you do?
So as a RBT, I basically handle a lot of data. So specifically in my clinic, I work with children who have autism. But when you're working in RBT, you're basically doing ABA therapy, which is applied behavioral excuse me, I'm getting tongue twisted. It's a specific type of therapy that just focuses on like the gross motor of things or the sensory of things, basically the functions
Mm.
of behavior, and nothing where like I'm telling children to sit in my couch or do stuff like
Right,
that. So
right.
my job is pretty fun. It's basically like a little daycare in a sense, and it feels really good to help kids get ready for school readiness.
I love that. I love that you said your job is fun because a lot of people they be at their job and they don't really enjoy their job. So it's nice to know that you're helping kids and you actually enjoy what you're doing because we don't want people who don't like what they're doing around the children. So that's really nice to
Yeah.
hear. I really love that. I really love that.
Thank
So what
you.
kind of children do you work with specifically?
So specifically, I work with like nearly toddlers to like
Okay.
preteen. So we start at the earliest at 3 years old.
Hmm.
We always try to tell parents and different people who are interested that before you consider putting your child into services like that, make sure you wait till that they're 3 to get tested for any type of disorders that may show some deficits of anything of that nature. So the
Hmm.
youngest is 3,
Okay.
and the oldest kid that we have right now just turned 13.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. So you do work with autistic children, correct?
Yes, children with autism, but we also do have children who have other disorders along with it, but mainly autism.
Hmm. Okay, that's really interesting. So I wanted to ask you, what would you say is the biggest conception that you've noticed since working with children with autism? Because a lot of people think they know about autism, but we really don't know anything at all. So what's the biggest misconception that you say you've noticed?
Okay, so honestly, I feel like the biggest misconception in autism is understanding that it's not a deficit in
Right.
itself. When you have someone or you're encountering somebody who has autism, they can be just as smart as you, can be
Hmm.
fluent in language just as you. I feel like it shouldn't be a setback for anyone who
Right.
has it, or in people who have people in their family that also have it. But I feel like that was like the biggest thing for me when I was working there, and it was like this one kid who was there, but he graduated, and so he could literally draw out like from Savannah the whole Chatham Parkway, whole
Yes.
downtown of like Forsyth Park in like an architecture way, and it's just like, wow, like this
Wow.
kid
Because
has
listen,
like
I
some
can't even
great
do that.
abilities. Yes, so it's like
Hmm.
I feel like nobody should feel like people who have autism, they're not capable of, being anywhere that we are, or just being capable of achieving some things where it's like, they can actually be making a lot of money and doing something good for
Mm-hmm.
themselves despite the fact that they have a disability.
I love that. That's so good to hear because I feel like a lot of people believe that, if you have autism disorders, that you can't, sustain your own life, or you can't think for yourself, or you can't, like, people just treat you like, there's something wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with you. And I really just don't like seeing that. I see it online a lot, or, you don't see it in person. I don't see it in person as much anymore just because I'm not around, that anymore. But just seeing that online and just knowing that people are just nasty to some people with autism, it makes me want to spread more awareness about, just where they're coming from and just who they are as people and not just their disorder. And that you have a psychology degree, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
We
I got
love
my
that.
psychology degree, Bachelor's of Arts from Albany State University. Be unsinkable.
HBCU. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I
We
got it
love
in
that.
December of last year.
So how would you say your psychology degree has helped you with your job?
Oh, honestly, oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like in the beginning, it's always a little shaky because you're not exactly in your major how you really want it
Right.
to. But I can definitely say, like, towards my last 2 years of getting my degree, like, it was
Mhm.
opening a lot of doors for me to understand that I don't have to put myself within, like, one pathway. Like, if I wanted to
Right.
do some other things and double and dabble, there are things to look into. So I really like that about getting my degree at Albany State because it opened me up to law enforcement within the psychology
Mhm.
field, forensic science. It
Right.
also opened me up to, like, different counseling specialties I didn't know that
Mhm.
were, like, really exist, because I just thought it was just the generic marriage and family. You can counsel just aged people, and different types of specialties within, like, the one big field. So that really just opened up my passion even more to be like, okay, it doesn't have to be just things that I'm experienced with. Like, I could definitely get my feet wet with other stuff. So
Yes,
I really
girl.
like how there's, like, a lot of variety in my courses. But yeah, that's basically what I could say. Yes.
I love that because I know like a lot of people they feel like your degree doesn't help you. So I just wanted to know if you feel like your degree helped you, transition. I feel like, because I got my psychology degree as well. I
Yes.
feel like,
Thank
yes, I love
you.
how you light up when you talk about it. I think that's important because like I said, a lot of people don't enjoy what they do. And I can just tell by talking to you, you're smiling, you just look so happy and bright that you love what you do and you love what you're talking about. So I feel like just
You.
taking that time to study the coursework and appreciate the coursework, like you said, and just being able to dive into it. Because them first 2 years, it's like, okay, where we going? But when you get into it, when you really start learning and you get to start taking, courses that are within your major, then we really get to like see. So I love that. Okay, girlfriend. So why do you feel like it's important? Well, first of all, before we get into that, and you're at your job, without saying too much about your people, would you say that it's a diverse staff?
Honestly, yes.
That's great.
Um, I can say it for my staff that I work with and also with our clients.
Hmm.
I have seen Caucasian, Black, Korean,
Great.
Latino. I think we also have, I want to say he's Italian. And we also have an Italian
Ooh,
client. So, yes, it's a
very
lot of variety,
diverse.
and seeing different cultures within it as
Hmm.
well is also, like, a great mix for me. And just also, oh, I missed out one person too. There's actually somebody that was from Germany that came and worked at our company.
Whoa, I love that.
So I thought that was
Okay,
pretty
okay,
cool. Yeah.
okay. So, how do you feel? Like, okay, so you're obviously an African American woman, as you said. So, do you feel being an African American woman, sometimes you have to interact with, say, somebody from Germany, a child from Germany, or a parent from Germany? How do you make that interaction just being from a different culture? And why do you think that being culturally competent is important as a therapist?
So honestly, it's because that some things that we do in our culture, we may feel like, oh, that's okay, it's normal, but for some
Mhm.
other people, they may think that it's crossing some certain boundaries for them.
Right.
So I always feel like, consent, like you said before, always, like, making sure that when it comes to that cultural competence, like you got to understand that consenting and asking, is this okay to do this, or is it okay to
Right.
say this with parents or either the children, is very important because like even with just like just saying things or like doing things, you can just do something as simple as give a child a hug and they're like,
Yeah, like,
mm-mm,
because why are you
I'm not
touching my
doing
baby,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, definitely. And
Yes.
you can mean no harm, like at all, but it's still the fact of the matter, like you said, asking. Asking is just so powerful, just to make sure, even if you think there's nothing wrong with double checking. Just
Yes.
get that, like, okay, make sure that's okay with them. So yeah, I really do love knowing like there's more Black people showing up, or just more cultures, period, showing up in the counseling industry, because or just in the counseling field, because I just feel like people want to talk to people they can kind of resonate with. And if they can't resonate with you, it's important to be culturally competent, like you said, because people want to be able to talk to somebody who respects their values and respects where they come from. So I really do believe that is important. So it's great to see and know that your place is doing that. That's wonderful, girlfriend. So have you used your degree outside of work at all, or no?
I feel like outside of work, sometimes I do, honestly.
Hmm.
I feel like there'll be moments where like sometimes people would come to me for advice and like I
Oh,
would
I
have
love
to
that.
literally stop myself and be like, this is a psychology moment. I just get so excited. Like I like
Right.
talking about relationship dynamics. That's like a
Hmm.
big thing for me recently. Also knowing things about like coping. I feel like, just sharing healthy coping tactics is always like a little thing that you can
Right.
do that really doesn't have to necessarily feel like, oh, she's just trying to tell me how my life should go. So I
Hmm.
love sharing those kind of tips with people who need, just like a little reference. But I feel like just like it would be like little small things, or I'd just be like, oh my gosh, like the medulla oblongata, or I'll be talking about different parts of the body.
Right.
They'll be
And they
like,
be
what is
like,
you talking
huh?
about? And I'm
Like,
just like,
nothing, nothing.
nothing. Yeah, it's just, I'm having one of those moments. But yes, I can definitely say like stuff that I've
Right.
learned in school, I definitely can see it in personal life. Like I love how psychology can literally be like pieces of the puzzle that you could put together. It doesn't have to be so much
Hmm.
of a like it's an education thing. Like you can really use it in life.
Right. So you mentioned that you are good at, just giving different coping mechanisms to help people. So what are just some tips that you have for just managing stress?
I'm saying bad about that. Going to work. Different coping. Honestly, if I'm gonna be real, like the first thing I always do is to start by checking my breathing,
Hmm.
because even from experience with dealing with different emotions and knowing that sometimes we could go a little overboard.
Right.
Sometimes it's good to just take a pause and just catch your breath. So I know,
Hmm.
like for me, that really works a lot, and I try to share that with people too. Another thing that I realized is that yoga. I know a lot of
Yes.
people are not into yoga,
Hmm.
but I feel like not really focusing on the poses and stuff, like sit and meditate sometimes, like
Hmm.
be okay with sitting by yourself, or just doing whatever that you like and just being like, this is my me time, this is what makes me happy. And yeah, and I feel like for me, on a more personal note, when I meditate, I try to like journal or
Right.
play like gospel music to
Hmm.
incorporate a more spiritual aspect. But I find that very calming for me, and most times, so I do that. And then like one last coping mechanism I could say that would also work for me, but I wouldn't really like recommend it for everybody all the time, is music. For me, like I can hear like my favorite song and I'm
Right.
instantly like I'm back, like I'm in a good mood. Like I feel like whatever brings you happiness, that should be your way of bringing yourself back to where you need to be.
We definitely have a lot of similarities because I love to journal. I love a good song in the background. But like you said, I probably wouldn't recommend it for everybody because some songs can trigger like different emotions. But
Yes, yes,
yeah, but those were
definitely.
all great coping mechanisms, girlfriend. Thank you for sharing. Do you have any self care tips you want to share that you like to do? Like, what are your favorite self care activities?
So for self care, I'm very big about looking nice and feeling nice.
Yes, I know it.
So listen, it's just one of those things you just gotta want more for yourself. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when you're also working on the outside, you can work on your inside as well. So like I know for me, like when I noticed that like it's been a long week or towards the end of the week, I'm like, oh, I really haven't just took the time to really just like debunker for myself. So like I've noticed like for self care throughout the week, like towards the end, like Friday or like the weekend, like I would always try to like wash my hair or like do like a little facial or something, you
Right.
know, just like pamper yourself. I feel like self care is a way of saying like, you know, do something that just makes you just be more flourished, like a new
Mm-hmm.
glow on you. So I feel like that's one of the ways you can do it. Another way that I like to do like self care sometimes, like I like to go on walks. Like
Same.
sometimes it could be a little random or like I'm trying to exercise, but I don't always like
Mm-hmm.
to feel like I gotta, you know, burn some calories. So when I walk, sometimes I just like to hear the sound of nature. Like I hear the birds chirping and I hear the wind rustling and you know, I went to the beach recently and I feel like you know, just doing different excursions like that where you feel like, oh, this is my time where I could just be like, you know, I'm here by myself. Or if you feel like, you know, self care is with friends too. If you want a little company, I feel like that's
Right.
okay. So yeah, I feel like, you know, mainly when it comes to that, like I really like to be outside. Like I've kind of noticed that I may not do bugs and
Same. I
creatures,
came down. Oh God, same.
but
Same
I
girl.
like outside. I do,
Same girl,
yeah.
same girl. It's crazy because I think I'm the opposite though. I don't like bugs, but I think I love being inside. I'm such a homebody that I'm trying to get myself to go outside more. But for me, like my self care is definitely just being in a peaceful house, like just a peaceful,
Mhm.
clean house. Like for me, cleaning is self care now, and that's crazy being somebody who has somebody nagging them, telling them to clean, you want them out your ear.
Yes,
But now I like if it's my space not clean, I don't feel right. Like it's
yes.
just things at home, like you said, washing your hair, just maintenance, just
Mhm.
getting nails done, getting your feet done, just like you said, just self-care, really just take care of yourself. Pampering. I like that word to use, pampering.
Yes, and that's so real. What she said about like cleaning your room, because like I would never get what somebody told me like your room reflects is like how you feeling in life, and I was just like, what? What do you
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I may have just been late to work for a little minute, you know. But I
But
feel like
girl,
some certain situations, yes, it can be a sign of you know a little bit of neglect to you know yourself and taking care of yourself
mm-hmm.
or whatnot. So I get it. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Some people may not have the energy, some people
Yes.
reduce that energy. So
Yes.
so how do you navigate going through a bad day?
Honestly, for me, I feel like I've been more so kind of like taking the time to be patient. Like
Right.
for last year, all through last year, 2023, and like going into this year as well, like patience has been blaring at me. I feel like, you know, just taking that time to yourself to just, you know, ask yourself things because I know I have myself in a way where I'm like, this happened to me or something unexpected happened that just, you know, put a little minor bump in the road. I'm thinking it's the end of the world. And it's just like, okay,
Right.
well, let's just take a moment and just, you know, try to figure out how it happened, why it happened, and how can we
Mm-hmm.
fix it. Because sometimes I get really defensive. I can get really in a defense mode where I'm just like, well, why would you do me like that? And what did I do to
Mm-hmm.
deserve this? And I just be like, you know what? Like, life happens, and you know, it may happen in mysterious ways, but at the end of the day, I feel like what really helps me to keep going throughout stuff that happens, I just be like, you know, bad things don't always last. For me,
Mm-hmm.
at least it don't. Like, I know I could have a really good happy memory and I could, you know, bring it back and I'd be like, I could play this out. But whenever something bad happens, I tend to forget or repress it. So it's like, okay, like when you're going through things, know that you gotta like heal throughout your moment. Like, not saying
Mm-hmm.
that you shouldn't feel how you feel, but also take the time to understand how you're feeling and what's going on.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. Because a lot of people, they just want to put it off, but you're feeling this emotion for a reason. And we're all human. So we supposed to feel emotions. Even if it's not an emotion
Yes.
that you want to feel, you need to understand and really figure out why you're feeling it. Get in tune with yourself. I love that what you said about asking yourself questions because I talk to myself all the time. People might think you're
Yes.
crazy, but talk to yourself. Talk to yourself and find the answers. Talk to yourself and figure out, why you feel the way you feel, what you want to do, how you want to move from that point.
That's real. Yes.
Okay, I don't got too much more to ask you, but I do want to know. I always do make the joke, y'all. I say Camille is the Lori Harvey of the friend group because my girl gonna cut him off real quick.
Listen,
She don't care, okay? One little
it
thing,
don't.
they're done, out of there. So I just want to know, how do you know when it just ain't it? What are some of those? How do you know? Share with the girls.
Honestly, girl talk. I'm gonna give y'all the tea,
Yes,
y'all.
share with the girls.
Honestly, me knowing who I am, I'm a true empathetic person. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very deep feeler. I'm a deep thinker when it comes to me being like in a situation where I am a little bit intimate, but I also feel the same way for like my friendships too. So I know sometimes I can be a little selfish and I just be like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on with you? You ain't been spending no time with me and that. Where the quality time
Mhm.
at?
Where you been?
So I can understand, like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, now bring it back. So I feel like for me, I know, like, once I'm start going into a cycle and it's just like we're really not like meshing together, it's just like, dang, like, I don't know how I can really like navigate through it. But when I'm in that process, it's like, okay, well, if I'm trying and I keep on trying to like get to show this person like this is who I am and
Mhm.
like this is how things go and I can take you for who you are and things of that nature, I just feel like some people just grow apart. Some people just
Right.
realize like that's not really what I want to deal with right now, and it's okay. But for me, I'm very big on consistency. Like
Mhm.
once I start feel like somebody acting funny, I'm just like, we could be friends. Like it
Right.
could be cool. But as
Right.
far as like us like really taking it to the next step, like I feel like I have to make it known to like my partner or whoever like I'm interested in that I'm here for like the long haul and I'm here to grow with you. Like this is not trying to like build you down. And I feel like not to be that girl, but for some men, sometimes their ego get a little shot. They get a little
Mhm.
shot.
No, they
So
can't handle the truth.
I feel like with some situations, like I just know like that's just too much for me. I can't handle that. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm beating it down. And then even when guys figure out like I'm in the psychology field, they automatically think that I'm counseling them, and it's
Right.
like, dang,
Right.
I'm not trying to be like that.
And even though, yeah, right.
I'm just saying that maybe if we got a different approach to this, we could work things out. So sometimes it is beneficial, and then sometimes I get where the other person is like, I really don't want to hear that right now. So I feel like honestly, when it comes to like me being intimate and knowing how my feelings and our emotions are, I know that I rather just put myself back and set boundaries for myself so
Right.
that I know that I can still be like compatible with that person to have a conversation with them and still be like, you can be in my life, I can be in yours, and we're cool, and just
Mhm.
not feel like we're just in and off on bad terms. But for some people, they really do be crossing the line. I'm just like, oh no, honey, like I gotta get that to God.
They got to go. No
God
friends, no
gotta take
nothing.
care of
You
that
just
one.
it be like that. It be like that. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that you said that, you don't make any ill will about it. You just let it be what it is. You let it be known. You set those boundaries and you set them and you stick to them. Some people set boundaries and they fold. You got to stand up. You got to stand up. You got to
Yes,
stand
stand
firm
on
on what you
business.
say. Because the one time that you backtrack, or they going to think they can always play with you.
Yes. And then it's
So,
like you will be sitting there regretting it, and it's just like save that guilt for yourself because you don't even have to
mhm.
put yourself in that situation. Just know that this feels better than how you feeling right now.
You just got to
And
love yourself more.
yes, yes.
Love your peace more. And if it's not going well, it's okay to leave. Like I feel like a lot of people just want to hang on to stuff, and it doesn't
Yes.
really work out like that.
Right. Some people feel like they put too much into it as well to feel like they can't
Hmm.
step out of it, and it's just like, well, then you're robbing yourself out of a lot, because are you putting yourself in a position where you're, putting that much into yourself as you are giving it to somebody else? And
Exactly.
it's like you could kind of see like the leverage of like, well, you doing this, and and it starts to feel like people are being judgmental to you, but
Hmm.
it really is just coming from a place of love where you just want better for that person in some
Exactly.
situations like that. So yeah.
And a lot of people wait until their cup is completely empty to start refilling it. I be telling people, you refill your cup before it's empty. When you
Yep.
at the restaurant and you thirsty and your cup is all the way empty, you mad at the waitress, ain't it? You want them to refill
Yep.
that before when it's halfway. Before, get a little bit more, charge yourself up. Don't drain yourself out completely and then try to charge yourself up. And then you gonna feel weak because you were drained. I be trying to
Yes.
tell people that, but they don't get it. I'm like, no, pour your cup now. Pour your cup now before it's empty. For real.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. So, what would you say is the key to just having a healthy relationship and a healthy mental health? I mean, healthy mental health at the same time.
Honestly, I can say that you have to feel like you're comfortable. I feel like if you're
Mm.
not comfortable with somebody, go ahead and it's
Hang
just
it
not
up,
for
flat
you.
screen.
Just hang up on you, not in the mood. Because honestly, like,
Yes.
if that's your person, you want to go to them for like a lot of things, not just anything monetary or
Hmm.
materialistic. You want to go to them for like conversations to talk about life, family, or whatever the case may be. You just want to have that transparency with your person. So I feel like that comfortableness is very much number one. You definitely want to feel comfortable and feel like you're allowed to be yourself in that
Right.
situation. So, yes, comfortability, and I feel like respect is also a big thing as
Big,
well,
big, big
because
facts.
even when you feel like it's a thin line, like, oh, well, it was just kind of like a principle, like, okay, well,
Hmm.
if the principle was big to that person, well, just only imagine how you would feel about something and they doing you like that. So
Exactly.
when I got that perspective, girl, I was like, oh, hold on. Okay, I'm seeing how this ballpark go. Cause like I just
Hmm.
be like, my way or the highway, and I'd be like,
Right.
you can't be thinking like that no more. This ain't no, 100%, 100%. Like y'all are literally coming together.
A
So
team.
sometimes it
Hmm.
does feel like 50-50. Like you know, I had to realize like whenever I feel like when I would sacrifice or make compromises and you would want your partner to do the same thing for you, you
Exactly.
should want to have that same respect for your partner, for them to feel like, okay, well, this is the person that I love. If she feels like, maybe I am, say like for example, I'm doing a little bit too much drinking going out to the club, then I'm gonna take a little
Hmm.
tolerance break, just out of sake of some things that may happen to where it might be too much for that person, or
Hmm.
just realizing that people also go through other things as well. You putting stuff on them by making them feel like, well, oh, I've done something bad. So I feel like when it comes to respect, like just know that always treat people how you would want to be treated. Like I know sometimes we get
Facts.
besides ourselves,
Golden.
but that don't mean, oh, since he did that, cuss him out, go break his
Hmm.
windows, and you know go crazy and
Right,
stuff
girl,
like that.
right. Just no.
I feel like respect, comfortability are like the main things to have without your relationship, and just also being able to know your person. I know that
Mm.
sounds crazy, but just from experience and talking to other people, people will literally talk to people and build a relationship on foundation on some really good things, but they really don't know their person for who they
That
are.
is facts.
And it's like, man, like, not to be funny, I'd be like, you don't know your partner blood type, or their middle name, and
You don't even know, like, you don't even know how they want to be loved. What's their love language? You should
right,
know, like, you know your love language, but what's theirs? You're loving them
right,
how you want to be loved, but you're not loving them how they want to be loved. And it's like you
right.
wondering why the relationship not going nowhere. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not how it
Right.
works.
And I feel like it feels good to know that, somebody's actually paying attention to you and understanding you for who you are. Because, for let's just coming from a hierarchy of things, your
Mm-hmm.
family knows you a little bit more than how some friends may know you. Like you may have
Facts.
some acquaintances that be like, okay, like I know you, but you don't know a lot about them.
Like my
But
family, right?
I right, and I feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're making that decision to have a relationship, I feel like at the end of the day, y'all gotta come to those common grounds and just be like, hey, this is what we doing, and this is how we gonna do it, and this is like what we do. Like y'all just have to have that common ground. If there's no common ground and it feels like, y'all not really set on those morals of like this is who I am as a person, this is who you are as a person, it's really hard to try to figure out that person and what their drive is. I feel like, get that stuff out the way. Ask, like you said, ask them the love language, ask them, are you
Mhm.
a spiritual man, do you want to have kids, like, whatever you want
Yes,
in
know
that
all
fairy
this
tale
stuff
lifestyle, go
beforehand.
ahead and lay it out on
Yes.
the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
People need to be open and honest. I really think that is really big when it comes to having a healthy relationship and a healthy mental health, because people won't know these things, and then they'll get to the end of their road and like, oh, Kim ready to have kids, but they ain't never wanted to have kids. Now we have a problem because this is what you wanted in life, and now there's like this disconnect. And I think another important thing to mention is a lot of people have this misconception about the 50-50 debate. I don't agree with it being 50-50 because I believe there's sometimes your partner won't have 50. And when your partner doesn't have 50, you should be able to pick that up because y'all are a partnership. Y'all are a team. Like when
Right.
somebody breaks them down, you're supposed to build them up. You know what I'm saying? When they down, you're supposed to pick them up. So if I only got 25% this month, baby, and I need you to have 75, then I'm gonna need you to hold that down. And then maybe on the next time when you only got, you know what I'm saying, 40, then I got the 60. But people got to understand that it's not always going to be even. It's not always going to be equal because life is life and mental health is a part of life. And maybe they're just feeling a little down. So I think that's important, especially in
Right.
the Black community, because the Black community want everything to be 50-50 so bad. I'm sorry, y'all. It ain't going to always be like that. It's just not.
Mm-mm.
It's just
Or
not.
100, 100. Like, people be so set in, like,
Right.
roles of things, and it's like, well, dang, this
Hmm.
don't feel like no
Like,
robot going through
whatever
the
works for
same
you,
thing.
baby. You know what I'm saying?
Or,
Whatever
or
works for you.
right. Mm-mm. But,
Hmm.
yeah, like, it's definitely got to have, like,
And
that
it's almost like they
transparency.
want to have social media. Go ahead, baby.
Yes, yes. Social media has been a huge influence on these relationships. Like, it's so bad because it's like it's nice to admire from the looks of things, but like you really don't know what's
Mhm.
going on inside of people's relationships to be like, oh well, I want what they have, and oh I want that, and it's just like, be careful what you asking for, because
Mhm,
I don't know if you
mhm,
really want that for real. So I feel like you got to be very very transparent, but also like you said, be honest, be straightforward with what you want and what you're looking for in these relationships, so that it doesn't feel like you're pulling teeth or trying to
mhm.
make it feel like you're trying to change that person. You don't have to change a
Right.
person to get a person to adapt to your wants and needs. If
Mhm.
need be, that it has to be a compromise or whatnot. But child, these people
Exactly.
be so demanding and controlling. They be wanting you to do
Yes, they be
this.
very entitled. I be
Mhm.
like, ooh, I be
Yeah.
like, girl, you sound a little crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got one final question.
Okay, okay.
If you could talk to young Camille today, what would you tell her?
My gosh. Oh my gosh. I would tell my younger self literally not to worry.
Right.
Like, I feel like that would be like my main thing, because like just knowing how I was coming up, I would just be so freaked out at the fact that like I'm doing something new. Like, don't be
Mhm,
afraid of trying anything new, being creative, because at the end of the day, you're making yourself to be who you are as a person. So
mhm,
don't stop yourself when you feel like something is speaking to you and you're passionate about it. Keep going.
mhm.
Another thing that I would tell my younger self is to like always keep your head up. Always keep your head up, because I know like when I was younger, I would really like dwell on some things and I just be like, oh,
Right.
I'm holding a
Just let it
grudge.
go.
Yes, like let it go. Understand that some things just may not be seen the way we want it to see it, and it's just better off giving it up instead of it just being there and lingering and just making it like a
Mhm.
heavy weight. So that, and I would tell my younger self to always stay educated.
Yes, that's a
Always
great
stay
one.
educated. Because like
That's a great
honestly,
one.
we all grew up. We was like, we don't want to go to school. Like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, girl, school was just definitely not what nobody really wanted to wake up at 7, 8 in the morning and go Monday
Exactly.
through Friday. But just for the outcome of it, seeing the results from it, I would definitely tell myself to stick it through. And even if you don't feel like you have to go to school or whatnot, like just always make it a goal or a drive to want to know something new about yourself, or even just, anything else that's going on in the world. Because, as we go through life, we're learning new things every day.
Right.
And it's always a learning experience. And that's what I love so much about life. But yes, oh my gosh, that's what I would tell my younger self. And I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it.
That's so real. That's so real, girl. That is so real because I can definitely say I would tell my younger self the same thing, especially stay in school. Like, even though, we did go to school, we did stick it through, but it's just like you said, we was not trying to get up at no 7 in the morning. We was not trying to be on that bus. We was not trying to listen to them teachers. We was not trying to do no homework, no projects, no none of that. But I probably just would have took it a little more serious because it actually was valuable information. Even though we said we ain't gonna use this, maybe not so much the math. um,
Right.
but it
In
was
the
valuable
geometry.
information. But it was valuable information, so I probably would have took it just a little bit more serious too.
Yep, yep.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show, girl. You have been a great guest.
Yes.
You
Thank
have
you
been
so
amazing.
much.
Of
I
course.
definitely enjoyed this as well. Like, I just love your show so much. I always listen to your podcast, and I be picking up new stuff from you too, believe it or not.
Aw.
So I definitely love this episode, and I'm
Girl, I
so
learn
happy
from
you
you.
had
I
me.
learn from you all the time. I learn from you all the time. I've been learning from you, girl. Been for years.
Oh, no, for
And
real.
I love seeing you, girl. I love seeing how far you're coming. I'm so very proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. For real. I'm very proud of you doing what you're doing. We need more people like you, especially in our field. So thank you so
Yes,
much, Camille. I love you.
you.
We love
I love you
you.
more. I
Y'all
love
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Mind you, y'all are amazing. You are worthy. You are blessed. And you are the best. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.